2:08 p.m. February 14th, 2:08 p.m. They just opened the road. There was a road closure, and it had started at 10 a.m. and it's 2:08, so 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4 hours there. And they destacked the Starship from on top of the booster there. Earlier this morning, we could see the Starship was on top of the booster up there. So that is what they did. They did a destacking. If anyone knew ahead of time that they were going to destack the booster, congratulations. I did not know. Tony, yeah, thanks everybody. So I gotta improve my signal strength here, everybody. But anyway, Stephanie, good day. I have a good antenna, but it's over there on the remote camera pole. So,
are you ready?
You're good. You go. Thanks. We're good. And so they opened the road about 5 minutes ago, and so I got to ride down back to the launch site here and doing a live stream. But that's the big news. They destacked the Starship, and looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I did see a liquid nitrogen tanker leaving the site as well, so they're starting to offload some liquid nitrogen onto the site here. Ophelia, awesome, nice. Get a pan of the site here as well, left and right. One of the benefits of this morning was this was another day that I was allowed to leave the truck here. I initially was told I couldn't leave the truck, and then I talked with the sheriff, and as long as I expressed my interest in leaving the truck and that I would assume all damages and anything, it was on me, then it was okay for me to leave the truck. So it's another day where I successfully went through the process and was allowed to leave, knowing and accepting the risk to leave my truck here. Okay, Stephanie says the ship quick disconnect got disconnected at 8:40 local time, indicating a possible destack. Okay. Thanks, Stephanie. Awesome. I guess in the future I can reposition the camera over there toward the beach, and then if I did that, then I would be able to see them disconnecting the quick disconnect. I was here at 8:50 or 8:45, so I could have seen that if I were looking for it. So in the future I will probably look for that. Vehicles are just now coming back onto the site. Okay, the real YT. So a little bit of update there. Thanks to Cosmic Perspective for providing the ride back to the launch site. So there was a road closure, but also, I don't know if some of you heard yet or not, but there was a delay. I saw this for the I think the NSF people. There was a post by the NSF people, Berggren or something, that they delayed the SpaceX environmental review another 30 days. So March 30, in March is going to be the next road close. The potential end of the environmental review. The real YT, thanks. Kind words. So they delayed it another month, and it just kind of reminds me of some of the stuff that goes on in some of the other sectors. So it really does depend on who's running the show in in the United States. So they've done this type of thing in other sectors for a long time. You know, they've done this kind of thing a long time. But life is good. Life is good. I'm looking forward to going to eat something, in an hour or 2 hours. You know, another thing they did, they stacked the Starship 21's nose cone onto the Starship. So while they were doing this unstacking, they also stacked the nose cone onto Starship 21 over there at the high bay. It's in the high bay, interestingly. It's not in the mid bay, but it's in the high bay. Starship 21. I saw coming down here this morning that the Starship was outside of the high bay over there, and I kind of was thinking about, it was on a stand. I was thinking about going to stop and film, but I wanted to get down here because I knew the road closure was going to be starting here soon, and I also wanted to go check out the remote camera site. So, yeah, a lot of stuff happened today. Oh, okay, Stephanie says Starship 21's nose cones is stacked on Starship 22 tank section. Wow. Thanks, Stephanie. I didn't know that. Good, good. I didn't know what body it was. Hey, Paul. Nice. Oi. 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 Bye, Plub. Rupert, nice, missed that. So it's sunny outside. I'd like to re-show the, just again, look at the tarmac here. See how everything is cleared. This tarmac was cleared for the big presentation that just happened last Thursday, or last Friday. Thanks, Asteroid Boy. 2. This was cleared for the big presentation that happened, I think it was last Friday. The stacking was last Thursday, but the presentation happened on Friday. So, and I don't know if it's going to get busy again, this launch site, but I don't know if they need all that equipment they had around here, but they'll probably, I assume they'll be moving all that equipment back, because they're still building this methane farm over here to the left, and they're going to need a bunch of cranes, diggers, all kind of equipment. So they just haven't moved that stuff back to the launch site here. Rupert got the first like today. Awesome. My first like. Awesome. As far as getting a signal amplifier, I'm looking at a few things. I don't know if I've spoken about this. I put something in the chat on the community section here in the YouTube channel, but I over the weekend I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. I had an opportunity to put my hands on a Raspberry Pi. Someone I know lent me theirs, and it's like a $35 to $50, even maybe up to $100 small computer that works without needing a screen, an LCD screen, or a so it's a nice little thing. I'm gonna see if I get my mic and I can get in front of the camera. Just a minute. right. Let me know if you can hear me. I see Jakinan has a spinning circle here. We have a shot of the launch site here. Jakinan's spinning now. Looks like spinning circle. I get up here in front of the camera for a moment. Good deal, good deal. All right. Just a moment. Home of Microsoft Ocean Camera Space Corp. It's there's no wind outside. It's sunny, blue skies. There's something called a Raspberry Pi, and there's several versions of it. But it's like a tiny $35 to $100 computer, and the reason why it's so cheap and inexpensive is that it's like, for instance, you have like a motherboard, a tiny motherboard, 4 ports, 4 USB ports, maybe a audio port, and a HDMI port, and it has a little micro SD card. So if you're into computers, a Raspberry Pi is like a tiny computer that you have a micro SD card. You put it in, just like some cameras take a micro SD card or an SD with a micro SD conversion, and you can it runs off of a Linux or Unix type Ubuntu. You can even run it off of Ubuntu. So it's like a tiny computer that's super cheap that you can maybe live stream with instead of having LCD screens, and normally a laptop will take a lot of power to keep it going. So unless you have a solar panel or a lot of batteries, it's going to be tough to run a laptop for a long time. I have a couple backup batteries that give it about 2.5 hours of runtime, and I got 2 of them, so I get about 5 hours with a Nikon camera when I got it all working. And I have a solar panel over there at the remote camera site, so I've got infinite power. I can run a laptop forever. But so this is a tiny camera, and I can use it for remote it's a tiny computer. I can use it to plug the camera in. Theoretically, the Nikon can be plugged into that, as well as the uplink and everything. So instead of spending $800 on a computer, I could spend $50, $35 for the computer, and then $10 for the case, and maybe $10 for something else. So about maybe $50 to $100, and I got a remote camera computer, so I wouldn't have to spend all that money. So if some of you are looking and considering maybe buying a computer, and you already have one and you're doing photography, check out, it's called a Raspberry, just like you would spell the word raspberry, and then Pi, P-I, and then I think it's a 3B is the version I'm looking to buy. So I think it's like $35 on eBay. It's sold out currently through the website that kind of hosts it. I don't know who manufactures it and all that kind of stuff, but Raspberry Pi, everybody, it's pretty neat. You have to plug in a external LCD screen to see what's on the thing. You have to plug in external mouse and external keyboard. But and then there's the one I'm looking at, the 3B, has 4 USB ports, has an HDMI port, has a micro SD port, and also has a audio jack. What we're looking at here is you can see the Starship. They took it off the top this morning, starting at 10 a.m. was the road closure when that started. It just stopped around 12, about 1:40, 1:50 p.m. or so, and we could see the quick disconnect is disconnected from the booster, and the Starship was brought down with the chopsticks. And again, the launch site's clear. Check it out, the chat here. Martin. Sorry, Martin. Yeah, another FAA delay, Carl. That's right. Povetrico no Raspberry Pi. Jaja. Juan. Thanks, Juan. Good luck, right? Joe's high power rockets, everybody. Martin, yeah. Yeah, it's a tiny PC, huh? Martin, have you ever used it for plugging in a modem? Yeah, it'll give them time to get the methane tanks done, huh? Yeah, everybody, I am an author, and I have another website. It's called I wrote a book called The Golden One, just like in The Golden Child in the movie with Eddie Murphy. My book was called The Golden One, and semicolon an out-of-body book. So it's The Golden One, semicolon, an out-of-body book. You can check that out on, they have it at Walmart, they have it at Barnes and Nobles, they got it everywhere. That book is all over the world. So wrote it a couple, maybe in 2016, 2017 time frame. Yeah, so the environmental review was, they were planning to have it done by December 31st, and they keep extending it. And I've been in a few other industries where you know, they put a date on something and they keep pushing it back by another 6 months, another 6 months. I don't know if this is good for everybody, and they agree to make these changes to the completion date. But yeah, an extension isn't that fun, everybody? Yeah, The Golden Child was a great movie. Yeah, that was from the 80s, I believe. Eddie Murphy was really big during the 80s, and I'm sure that influenced me and many other people of that time. You know. It took me another 10 years or so, maybe 12 years before I had any experiences of my own. So, Admiral, nice. There is a, yeah, not ready for, yeah. Anyway, it'd be nice if they had permission to launch if they wanted to, you know? So they don't even have permission, everybody, so that's it. Let me tilt up here, just a moment. Kind of looks like right now it kind of looks like an airport or something. There's so much space here. We got a few lifts. That's what this reminds me of. Like a big parking lot with nobody here, but more like an airport, you know. So that's pretty kind of cool. Janik, yeah, it's right there at the base on the ground, everybody. Some more space at SpaceX, right? That's a good one. I'll zoom in. I'll do some of this in 4K after this live stream is over, and then I'll upload that as a separate video. I can only stream in 720, but I can take some 4K imagery and then upload that. I'll do like a 2-3 minute segment of just reviewing some of what's happened here. So I'm gonna get in front of the camera again for this. The real YT says there's so much SpaceX has to do to be ready. Yeah, a couple Starships coming and land there. Yep, that'd be awesome. That's what it's. Yeah. So I overheard somebody saying that SpaceX was looking to launch 3 times a day. Everybody, that's what they're looking to do. That would be ideal for SpaceX to launch 3 ships every day. So I don't know if anyone knows anything extra on top of that, but yep, Starship's gone, everybody. I don't know where it went, but there is another Starship here at the base. I'm joking. That looks kind of like the other one that was there on top. I guess it's hard to see with the 720 pixelation. So there are boosters for that I could get that cost like $250 to for the there are boosters I can get for the signal. So right now I haven't been able to get one of those boosters, but yeah, I was chatting with somebody here in the stream, and we're looking at I'm gonna do some promotional ads here on the not right now, but I will. Thanks, Janik. I gotta do some more homework, but I'm gonna be adding some stuff to a few different videos going forward and stuff like that, and maybe even putting some plugs in there just as another way of giving people opportunities to have good deals, but also for the channel here to make money through commission. So just I put out a thing here in the community chat. If anyone has the business and they'd like to give at least some discount to the viewers, but also to have it broadcast for free here, and also give a commission to the channel of whatever amount you choose, then that would be a way for us to build revenue here, you know. So everybody wins. It'd be a win for everybody. So I contacted 3 people yesterday, and we'll see where that goes. If you want to say anything on camera, you're welcome to.
YouTube?
Yeah. 73. Yeah. Where are you from? Oh, cool. All right. So everybody, there's somebody here from California. I don't know if he wants to say anything, but there is an opportunity he might. So. Want to say anything? Okay, cool, good. Ocean Camera Space Corp is the name of the channel. Yeah, this is cool, Jeff, that we can get cameras this close, yeah. That's the tool trailer for the Raptors, huh? Cool. Well, we just saw we just saw that trailer come by. I have the screen dimmed. I could make it brighter, but not right now. Okay, the real YT says, yes, Elon said he wants to launch 3 times a day for the Starship. Right on. Any idea when that would start? Is that just whenever we get permission? Yeah, go buy something. Thanks. I'll check my email later, Bill. You're funny. Thank you so much for everything you've done in the past. And the good words. Thank you. Janik says, I think 3 times a day is in the far future. One every few months sounds more realistic from the start, right? Yeah. Bill, I did see your emails from earlier about some of the stuff I mailed you yesterday, so thanks. Yeah, good stuff. I'll get that going in the next day or two. I just want to read the stuff and get it down pat. Payload carrying, right? Oh, when it becomes payload carrying, it would do 3 times a day. I got you, Tony. That's good stuff. Brando hates Elon. Okay, interesting. As soon as they can carry Starlink 2, interesting. Okay, right, and so, and then most everybody here probably knows, but there is another location over there in Florida, and Elon said one of his options is to, build that out over 6 months. I believe he mentioned 6 months, and then launch over there from Florida. So that's not too far away. They've already delayed it for 3 months in January so far. So if he were to go forward with that build over there from Florida, that would be 6 months and not much longer than the current delay, you know. So I know some people were looking to come, some kind of news people from a different area, a different country were looking to come in, and I think they delayed their flight, is what I was hearing from somebody, another photographer here. So some people have already, delayed their trips to the area due to the change in the approval, Yeah, okay, the real YT says, I wasn't sure about that. But the real YT says in Florida, the FAA has already approved the Starship flight. Yeah, so it's just due to the area, just due to this specific area. They could launch from other areas. R1, interesting. Chopsticks are great. Oh, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, they worked out great today. And the stacking also seems to have worked out good as well, tightening this in there. This site, though, is unusually empty. It was very fast, Janik. It was like less than an hour. They the whole thing was very quick, and then they took about at least a half hour when it got to the bottom to maybe put it on a stand. I'm not sure it's on a stand. I don't see a stand there. I will zoom in on the base there as much as I can, but it doesn't appear to be on a stand. It's probably resting on something, but I don't see a stand per se down there. Looks to be just maybe seated on some clamps or something like that. The last time I got a video with the Nikon last Thursday, I believe it was, we could see some clamps over there that had grabbed onto the base of the skirt of the Starship. Oh, maybe the movers, yeah, maybe the SPMTs. Could be. So they have, it doesn't appear to me that they've completely made it ready to move or anything. They want SLS to fly first. I got you. Yeah, right. Sorry, I didn't mean to get this guy over here. I'm gonna tilt up here. There we go. Go back to the Starship. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Still focusing. I don't want to walk in front.
You're good. You're good. Thanks. I zoomed out. You're good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Janik, awesome. Welcome as a Falcon Heavy OCSC member. Awesome. Got a bunch of cars coming through. There were some tourists earlier that were looking to get access to the beach, and they were kind of surprised that they couldn't just drive down. They didn't know there was a road closure or anything. Oh yeah, maybe they will make a drain, right? So they were grinding into the road at the beginning of the day here around maybe around 9 a.m. They were there was a loud noise, and they were just over here, right over here. They were grinding with a concrete saw into the floor, and so, and the water that was on the ground over there is gone. So I don't know if that made a way for the water to seep down into the ground level, or whether it was some type of piping beneath the road here or whatnot. But yeah, or whether they used a machine to suck it up, right? I believe they were picking it up as well with a vacuum pump or something. So interesting. Jeff, yeah, I've been over there too. Jeff says, never seen NASA let cameras get this close to the facilities. That's true. I've been over to to a couple places. One in Huntsville, Alabama, and then I've been to when I was younger. I went to the space camp kind of things, and I also went to Titusville, and I saw a space shuttle launch in 2000, I believe, the year 2000. Yeah, it was in 2000. I'm pretty sure about that. And that's you're pretty far away over there at Titusville, NASA in Texas. Joey says it's on a stand for about an hour and 20 minutes now. Okay, it's been there for about an hour 20. You're saying good stuff. And right now it's 2:45 p.m. So that would be 1:25 p.m. is when it got down to the stand, says Joey. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes, so, and right now it's 2:45, so 1:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll just do a recap here. I have seen these 2 extra of these methane tanks over there at the build site, so they're probably going to bring those down sometime. I believe there's a road closure for tomorrow. I don't know if they would bring down these tanks during a road closure or whatnot, but they may have to do more preparation before they bring down those tanks. Yeah, the Real YT says maybe there's some competition between SpaceX and NASA, and there would be maybe more. I'm reading into what the Real YT says, but there could be more cooperation with the FAA if it were owned by NASA and not a private company. Cool. Hugo, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, Hugo. Hugo says, I lost destacked Starship. Yeah, I had a live stream going earlier and we did lose signal. I'm not, you may be referring to that. But, yeah. If I get like another 1 or 2 more cameras, then when I put a camera here, and if the camera loses reception, then I can easily just continue doing photography over there at the gate, or it's better if I have more cameras. So that's I'm weighing right now where to spend the funds that I have to improve the system. So. Jeff says Elon seems to enjoy interacting with people interested in his work. Interesting. Mule Skinner, thanks, and thanks for your support. Thanks, 100%, man. If anyone has a business and you'd like to promote it here on the site, we would showcase your business and whatever advertisement or promotional content you'd like to show, either right now on a video or on a recorded stream, and put it in nicely. So I'm planning to do that at least with one individual going forward. Bill, yes, can I remotely do the cameras from home? So when I had the remote camera setup going with I just repaired the computer, and I was about to set it up this morning, but the camera actually stopped working. So maybe I have to dry out the camera. It got wet last Thursday, and I believe I used it and turned it on this weekend to clean it and get it ready for this week. But today I got a brief power button light, but it wouldn't stay on. So I may have to dry out the camera a little bit more. But so yes, if I go to the remote camera site here, I set up the camera and I leave it live streaming, I can access it from the house if I do a remote camera link. But there is so that's about it. That's if I set up a camera and leave it, which I had the remote camera going for several days before I unplugged it. The deal with the reason why it stopped working after the reason why the laptop stopped working after I did the remote camera, I don't know if I said this on camera, but I kind of did a video about fixing of the laptop, but kind of interesting. I'll get in the shot here for this. Paul Marcus, Ocean Camera Space Corp. CEO. So as long as the laptop is going, there's a certain heat and temperature that's created while the computer's active. So that's what Nathan or Joseph Cohorst, the CTO here, said, that it was due to the laptop still being active and on that the humidity and the other stuff couldn't really cross the dew point and precipitate and cause damage. It was only after I unplugged the laptop that the temperature dropped and the humidity was able to precipitate that water onto the motherboard, and that's why after I turned it off that it couldn't turn back on. So as long as so there's something called conformational coating that I can get that would waterproof it. There's also a mineral, I could put it in mineral oil. I could submerge the computer in mineral oil, and that would protect it from the elements as well, and keep it cool. I could also build like a temperature stable box. These are all things I'm gonna have to figure out for, you know, up there in space as well. So this is all really good testing for that eventual mission out there. So I would love to partner with a company who's already figured out all these things and maybe promote and use them as a sponsor, use their equipment here on the show, and that would be another way to go forward as well. So if you have if you work at Mynaric, where you have laser communication, satellite communication, and you'd like to sponsor us and let us use one of your communication systems, I would love to utilize that. If there's another satellite company here that has an uplink capability, or even a camera company that has some specific remote control cameras that I could use from a distance, I would like to test those out. And also, as a sponsor, we're going to be promoting your company and what you got as well. So maybe there's some commission we can get, and after you make a certain amount of money, maybe we can get some commission after that, whatever minimum you have. So that would help the channel, but also give us much more capability rather than creating it from scratch here. So I'm gonna have to start looking to some of these companies that have the equipment that we're looking for, to see if we can do a collaboration and promote their business, but also be able to use their equipment. So a few things. I can make a temperature controlled container for the computer, or the camera. I can put in mineral oil, or I can do some kind of waterproof conformational coating, and I think that would solve that problem. See whatever everybody else says here. See what we got here. Thanks, Mule Skinner. Awesome. Mule Skinner Films, everybody. Check it out. Mule Skinner Films. So remotely do cameras from home. That's what I'm working on. I'm working on that capability to really do that well. Thanks, Bill. Martin, what about sponsor Manscaped? Like, what about it? Oh yeah, so What About It is owned, Martin, I believe What About It is a branch of, it's owned by some of the people that own Facebook. So What About It is not a homegrown business here out of Brownsville. They came with a bunch of money and investors, and I'm not sure Felix owns the channel. He may just be an employee at What About It. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but they are tied to Facebook and some other bigger investment companies. Also, as far as remote cameras, there is a program, I believe, with Microsoft Windows that gives remote camera capability, but it's costly. It's very costly every month. So it's like $400 or something. But there is I said a little bit about it earlier. There is something called a Raspberry Pi, and I may be able to do a lot of stuff. Look it up on YouTube or on just a Google search, RESPBERRYPI, and then Raspberry Pi 3B is the one I'm looking at. And there's a lot of capability in different projects that people use for that type of hardware. I'm really excited about that right now. Martin says, what about, let me see. Janik says, you can promote my music channel, but it's not so good. Hey, Janik, send me a message or an email. So yeah, if anybody, what I left out of that talk I just gave is the email here. The way to contact us is info at oceancam, OCEAN, ocean like the ocean, cam, CAM.com. No, that's space. I made that mistake just now. Info at oceancam.space. There's also, I have another website, oceancamera.com. dot space. Same dot space URL, but it's if you want to spell out the word camera, you can. Ocean Camera dot space. I've got that URL as well. It just forwards to my other email. So, and I also have info at oceanx dot space as well. So if you want to use the Ocean X or the Ocean Camera or the Ocean Cam, they all get to the same spot. Info at Ocean Cam or Ocean Camera or Ocean X dot space. So if you're a business and you'd like to sponsor us and have us showcase your equipment, that's what, contact me. And or if you have music, Janik, and everybody else. I have another email, which is like a personal email. So a lot of people, you may have gotten my email from another place that's not the oceancam.space, and it's just my private personal email. So I do send out I communicate directly through my personal email as well. So, but all the business stuff is, all the finances are done through a business bank account, and nothing comes to me directly, personally, unless you send it by, not even PayPal. This is a business account, and it goes to the business checking account. So it's all done through the business here. Yeah, so Janik, I love music, Janik. So send me a link to what you got, and maybe we can use it in the back. Or you don't have to give music directly to me. There is the YouTube free music thing, copyright free music, and you could maybe submit your music to be uploaded into that larger music library, and then you would get referenced when people, maybe, I don't know how you would benefit from that, but you would get more exposure if you had some copyright free music in the YouTube music channel, so that people can use it for all the different videos and stuff. But if you'd like to give access to your music for us to use it here on the channel during videos, for sure, I'd check it out. Yep. And if you just write a few words saying it's okay for us to use it, for Ocean Cam or Space Corp to use your music, and I have a license kind of agreement where people would allow us to use their video, their photos, or even their music. So I have that. I haven't uploaded it to the website, oceancam.space website. I mean to do that. I have it here on the phone already edited and ready for those type of situations. See you later, Martin. Thanks, Bill. Thanks. Bill says I had the Ocean Cam had the best shot of the stacking, above everybody. Thanks, Bill. Thank you so much. Makes me feel good to hear that. Refrigerated nitrogen, everybody. That was a nitrogen trucker. It's the second one I've seen go by. I wasn't sure how good the video. I felt really good about it, but I wasn't sure how other people felt about the stacking video. But it's good to hear. Good to hear. I think maybe down by the dunes where I was situated was a little bit higher off the ground. It was also further away from the main gate here, and for instance, the destacking that we just had here, I was positioned here with a camera, and they had the satellite dish pointing in this direction. So I had signal kept kicking out, and I think if I were maybe next time if I position the truck over there by the dunes, it'll stay on and not get lost, Admiral Sink, thank you. Good video, said Admiral Sink. Jeff says, is there a security checkpoint for traffic before where your camera is? Yeah, so right here where we are, Jeff, there is a security checkpoint. There's the road closure is about a mile and a half up the road. Robert says, Texas will not let Starship launch 3 times a day from Boca Chica. Yeah. And Elon did mention activating the offshore oil rigs with modified oil rigs, the Deimos and the Phobos. Tony, yeah, the PC video, you watched it? Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, the real YT says, sorry, was on the phone. He means the reason why people can get so close to SpaceX is because it's privately owned. It's a privately owned company. NASA's owned by the government, and therefore they don't let people near it. Okay, they don't let people near NASA because it's government owned. I got you. Sorry, and that's why we can get close to the privately owned SpaceX here, is what you're saying. Good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, and NASA does a bunch of aerospace and R&D, aerospace and research. You know, it says research, but usually you hear R&D. Research and defense. They left off the word defense, but they added the word aerospace. And often you hear the word aerospace and defense. So if you look on the Wikipedia page, at least for NASA, it says civilian, comma, as well as research and aerospace. So R&D, aerospace and defense. They use the word research and aerospace, but failed to mention defense. But so NASA is involved in defense, which is primarily why we can't get close to it. So we can go into the Social Security Administration, we can go into other government buildings, but when it comes to defense and war and weapons, that's why we can't get close. Okay, Admiral Singh says, coding is the best bet as you can then still use the device. Cool, Admiral Singh. If you have any suggestions about what type of conformational coding I should get, let me know. I know there's a bunch of varieties, and my delay in getting some of that coding and spraying it on or applying it is I'm not sure which one. So if you have any knowledge about that, I'd love to hear your feedback. So to waterproof the motherboard of the laptop, and also any other type of stuff that I have, like the Raspberry Pi, if I buy one of those. Cliff says the FAA is a government agency of the United States government. It is not a private entity. I suspect there may be some political shenanigans going on. Yeah, I could buy that as well. Yeah. Good stuff. Wow, Michael. Michael said your pre-presentation the other night was better than the official one down at the corner. Yeah, the one I did down at the corner. Cool. I don't know what the which official one you're talking about. The actual Starship presentation here that they had, or was there a pre-presentation about the upcoming presentation? That touches my heart, Michael. Good stuff. Mustang 607 says, I figured they would destack the Starship before they started their initial tests on the booster. So Mustang was saying he thought they would unstack the Starship before they did any cryo testing or static testing of the booster. Interesting. R&D, research and development. Thanks, Cliff. Yeah, I couldn't remember what the The D stood for in R&D, everybody. Cliff reminded me. Research and development. Okay. It could also stand for research and defense, but more commonly and often it's research and development. Thanks, Cliff, so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Bill says Raspberry Pi doesn't look too expensive. Yeah, and I actually had one in my hand. Someone was gonna let me use theirs where I live at MSX, Makerspace X. It's a bunch of people who make stuff. One of the men there had a Raspberry Pi, and he let me use it and potentially keep it, but the USB ports didn't work. Oh, the official one. Thanks, Michael. That's good stuff. If I had, okay, I'm gonna have to get on camera for this. If I had the props that Elon had here, then I think it might have been on par with the actual Starship presentation here. So maybe if I was on stage giving the presentation, or just in the crowd or in the audience or something, yeah. I got all the facts. Thanks, Michael. I think they could. I'm going to take my sweater off here. It's getting hot out here. Just a minute. There's been some talk about, the public wasn't invited to the presentation. So they, if people didn't register ahead of time through the SpaceX thing by Tuesday night, the event was on, I believe it was Friday. If people didn't register by 4 p.m. on Tuesday and also complete the whatever form they sent you, then you couldn't get on site. So they had the roadblock just like they had here for the stacking. They had right where I was during this stacking here this morning. That's right where I was last week. So nobody was able to get access from the public from the Brownsville area, who might have wanted to check it out. So they had a big semicircle here, and I guess maybe they were facing, I'm not sure if they were facing the Starship or facing the road, because I wasn't here. I didn't get permission either. I didn't fill out the form and do all that kind of stuff. I didn't know about it, and the public didn't know about it too. So if they want to, have the Brownsville people open up the area and let them launch 3 times a day, or even once a month, or once every several months, if they want to make people happy, the SpaceX people, especially the external affairs people, have to understand that, if you want to make people happy, you gotta give them something. And right now, what's happening is they close off the beach, and the public can't come down to the beach. They can't watch what's happening here. So if this is one of the most amazing things where people are flying in from all over the country, even internationally, the biggest thing in the last 2 years, the last Starship presentation was 2 years ago. For some reason, they didn't invite anybody from the public here. I believe there was some congressman or woman here, because I was over there at the corner and heard that, I don't know the lady's name, but the representative who's supposed to be representing the people here at External Affairs at SpaceX, she was looking for the congresswoman or man, or I'm not sure who it was, but I overheard she was in her car over there at the roadblock and turning away to go somewhere else. So she wasn't talking to anybody there on the corner. I was there, some other people were there. So the external affairs person didn't care about the people here. She was just looking for the congressman or woman. I don't know if she's overworked or he is overworked. I don't know what the external media people here at SpaceX do, but they're not really public facing. They're more interacting with the business people. So I don't know, maybe there has to be because they're doing stuff. They're working with the media. They're working with people from all over the world. So they got the business corporate angle going, but they don't have the human, civilian, just regular everyday people They don't have that communication going. So there's room. I don't know if they want to have a new position at SpaceX. Maybe they want to hire me or someone like me, or someone who cares about people, because right now it's all corporate. It's all corporate, and they're just pissing off the Brownsville people by not giving them access to the beach and not letting them see or attend the biggest event in the last 2 years here at SpaceX, besides the launches and the rockets, was the update on the Starship presentations. You know. So somebody here, one of the people from the local community, invited Elon to a big, I think it's a Charos Day, and there's a, I'm not going to do it, but there is a yell, like "Aye!" something like that, you know. Some really, "Aye!" So, you know, some really loud. Sorry about that. So the Mexicans have this thing, and they call it Charos Day, and the people have to make a really loud yell. I didn't really do it. I just kind of did it. I haven't really watched any videos about them doing it, but so if Elon were to go to this event and do that Mexican yell, Jack at MSX gave me this. He gave me the download on this. But if Elon were to show up and do that, I think it's Charos Day. I'm not sure, but the Mexican yell, you know, as loud as he could. And then he would maybe bridge that gap that currently exists between the Brownsville people and the SpaceX and the corporate people here at SpaceX. So just a thought. You might check it out. I don't know the name of that yell, but there is something in the Mexican tradition where they do each person. It's like a competition. Sorry. Didn't lose everybody. That's a good thing. Okay, there, Sergey says they're trampoline for hot gases between the rocket and tanks. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I got you. Agrito. That's it. Whiteness envy. Agrito, that everybody. It's called Grito. I didn't know how to spell it, but Grito says Divine East. And Whiteness envy says Agrito. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so if Elon, Jack at MSX was telling me this, Makerspace X, if Elon were to show up and do the Grito as best he could, and again, we don't want Elon to win. We don't want Elon to win the Grito competition. Then he would just piss off a lot of Mexicans. But if he showed up and did the Grito, the real YT says, I do it all the time here in Texas. When I go to the Mexican friends parties or special occasions. So I don't know if anyone here, Albert says, called the Grito. I believe it's called the Grito. Shut the front door, says Albert. Yeah. So again, Jack at Makerspace X suggested that if people want to, from the SpaceX community, want to also bridge that gap, rather than just waiting for Elon to do it, maybe record yourself doing the Grito in front of the Starship or somewhere with some kind of space thing in your background, and maybe that'll start something. And see if we can get, see if Elon wants to do it as well. All right, good stuff, everybody. I don't know what the Grito actually sounds like. I've never heard it. I've never heard anyone do it, but I've heard a brief description of it. So that's why I kind of did my short take a shot of tequila. I got your Ron, the real. I don't drink. I don't do any alcohol, but that sounds like it would kind of give you the energy and the strength to do a wild Grito. El Grito. I don't know how it's pronounced. I gotta look it up. So Grito or Greeto, look it up and see what it's all about. It's a competition. It's coming up soon, I believe. The Mexicans have a lot of interesting holidays and events, and that's one of them happening here in Brownsville soon. This month, I believe. A sample dance? You want me to dance? I'm not going to dance. I don't dance on camera, everybody. Just kidding. I got you, Russell. Thanks. Maybe if we got a satellite going up there into orbit, I could maybe do a dance on camera here. If anyone has a satellite or something like that, or a space ready camera, if we can get a space ready camera here at Ocean Camera Space Corp donated to us or on loan with some you know, I don't want to break it or anything, so with some make sure it has insurance coverage or something, then or some type of something major, I might dance on camera, but it would have to be something really major and move the mission forward quite a bit. If we get NASA to acknowledge Ocean Camera Space Corp and form a partnership, then I could probably dance on camera. Briefly. I could do the moonwalk. It's got to be worth it though. Maybe SpaceX would like to partnership with Ocean Camera Space Corp, or form a Ocean Camera Space Corp branch in partnership with Ocean Camera Space Corp. That would be something to dance about. So I did. Yes, Will, I saw 4 methane tank deliveries this morning. Yeah, there were 4 of them right here on right next to the tank farm here in front of us. The methane tanks, just near the base of the Starship here. All of the 4 tankers, I will zoom in on that. All of them were side by side here, lined up. I get a shot because we can see some interesting stuff here. It's almost like a gas station right here in front of us. Just a moment. You can see there, I believe you can see there pretty decently. These are all connection points. Like you were at a gas station. That's one there. This is another one there. 3, 4. So those are all offloading connectors for the methane tanks when they line up there and they unload the methane. That's what those are. Maybe pumps to drain the methane tankers that come by. Jeff says the GoPro is space ready. Jeff, can you confirm that? I know I had a GoPro in my hand a couple days ago. Somebody, Joseph Cohorst has Nathan, the CTO here, has a GoPro. Is that ready as it is is that space ready as it is? I believe SpaceX was using the GoPro and they don't use it anymore, but are you saying the more industrial GoPros are probably space ready, right? Not just the off-the-shelf average everyday GoPro, are they? Yeah, Will, I've also seen 2 nitrogen tankers leaving the site here, so they were offloading some nitrogen as well. So I've seen 6 trucks this morning. Needs a waterproof housing. Is that it, Jeff? It's already pressurized correctly and everything. Does it need any pressurization or any shielding from the radiation in space or anything? If it's pressurized correctly, that's a big step forward. So waterproofing would be kind of easy to do. Maybe a second container for that, and the radiation would be maybe some type of protection from radiation is one of the big things, because in space I believe they use a bunch of duplicates. You get, when they have high energy electrons shooting through the wires on different cameras and transistors and everything like that, then it messes with the signal. So if they could, that's why they have multiple repetition, you know, not just one camera or just not just one processor or not just one computer. They have multiple ones, and then they compare the output from the different ones, and then they choose the ones, I believe, that are more similar, more as the correct signal or whatever. But thanks, Jeff. I will look more into that if it is GoPro. Gabriel, nobody gets invited to the Starship presentation. Maybe if you were a congressman or something, but it's more an acceptance process. And what I did is I reached out to them after the event a second time, and they sent me a link to sign up for future notifications. So I am on a list to be notified of future events. And I believe, again, like most all the people that attended it this time, except for the employees, there were a lot of employees that attended from SpaceX, but the other people, the photographers that attended, I believe had to fill out a form, and then that form was accepted. So I don't think anyone really got invited unless you were someone special. And most of the photographers I believe, were not that special to SpaceX. So they care about photographers here as much as they care about the general public, so which is not at all. They don't really care about you. You're not even a thought in the back of their brain. They don't care about photographers here. They're just here to do a mission, and their mission is very tough. But that would be the external affairs relations people. They're not focused on the public at all, and they're not focused on the photographers. They're focused on Elon Musk, the richest guy in the United States. That's who they care about, and they don't care about anybody else. Because at the end of the day, everybody that was representing SpaceX actually works for Elon, and they don't work for you or me. They don't work for the photographers. They're on a mission to Mars, and that's all they really care about. So again, you gotta have some type of sympathy for them as well, because right now they don't even have permission to launch, and they got a lot of people trying to knock them off the top of the pile there. SpaceX is #1 currently on the planet, I believe, as far as rocket launches. And when you're #1 at anything, there's a lot of people trying to throw rocks at you and kick you down to the bottom. A lot of jealous, a lot of other people out there that want to see SpaceX fail, but maybe there are some more people out there that want to see SpaceX succeed. And they're trying to keep their efforts on that success there. Ali says, SN25 cruise, question mark. Yeah, Ali, I think that's a little bit ambitious, because they haven't yet launched they haven't even launched one of these as a full stack launch yet. So right now they're just making sure that it gets off the launch pad and doesn't blow up and doesn't burn everything they built here down. So they want to see this thing get launched off the launch pad, clear the launch pad, clear the city here, Brownsville, this big bustling tiny city here, and they want to make sure it doesn't blow up and destroy the launch pad. That's the #1. So they're not going to be putting people on this anytime soon. Maybe next year. Hey Marino, good question, Ali. I'm sure a lot of people were thinking about that. I am currently standing right here in front of, this is not a green screen, everybody. This is not a green screen. This is not a great telescopic 10,000x zoom camera. Although I would like to have one of those. I would like to have a huge telescope. I would like to have a floating, you know, in the movie Contact, the billionaire there had a floating spaceship, and he was just chilling out there in the I don't think it was in orbit, but he was up there in the sky. So I don't have one of those sky floating ships. We are right here at the main gate of the SpaceX Starbase South Texas launch site on February 14th, 2022. I'll wave. Yeah, we're right here, everybody. Jeff asked if I would be the first to ride the Starship. Jeff, I don't think so. No, I wouldn't be the first to ride the Starship. Although I would feel better riding the Starship first, the first Starship, rather than any of the first NASA ships. I feel much better riding a Starship than a NASA ship. So the Apollo astronauts in the beginning didn't really have that much success in the beginning of flights of the Apollo mission. I think there were many unfortunate test flights in the Apollo mission, everybody. It smells okay here. Smells okay. I don't smell any methane. Oh, maybe that's what you're referring to. Yeah, methane has a smell to it, I believe, unless I'm wrong about this. Does methane smell like anything? If this is the regular methane, I believe we would smell it if it were here, right? That's a good question. I smell a little bit. Maybe there's I don't know if it's a car in front of us or something. I do smell a little something. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I did some of vinyl. I cut a bunch of vinyl flooring yesterday. I'm doing some work trade for my room and rent this month because I wasn't able to pay it. I didn't have any money to pay the rent this month, so I was doing some work trade, and I was doing some flooring over the weekend. A lot of vinyl, cutting a bunch of vinyl with a skill saw and putting in a vinyl plank flooring over there at Makerspace X. So my nose is not so good right now. I could be smelling that on my clothing or my skin. I was cutting a lot of vinyl. Not the most healthy thing to be doing, but definitely pays the rent. So you gotta do what you gotta do. This would be a nice fall day up there in the East Coast somewhere. Maybe Virginia. This would be the fall weather up there in Virginia. Maybe even a sunny day in the Virginia area. I used to live in Virginia, the state of Virginia, the great state of Virginia, where they say Virginia is for lovers, but I don't know about that. And I don't know if that's really true. Virginia is for deer, I would say. There's a lot of deer in Virginia, and they like to let their deer run all over the road. So there's a lot of accidents every January, February over there in Virginia due to the deer. I've always thought about that, at least for the last 10 years, that they should do something about the deer. You know, we don't let cows run all over the road, right? So why do we let deer run all over the road? There, we should keep them fenced in or something. Cause a lot of deaths and a lot of accidents. I'm sure the automakers like it. You know, they get a lot of collisions every year due to the deer up there in Virginia. You know, it's different if you live in an area where there aren't any deer, and then you're like, oh, what a beautiful, nice little deer. But if you live in an area where every year you hit a deer, or they hit you, or you total your vehicle every year, then that's not so fun, you know. You got to have good insurance. I always had good insurance there in Virginia, but I almost died a couple times due to the deer accidents. Everybody, I totaled 2 vehicles due to deer collisions. They destroyed 2 of my cars, but I had full insurance, so I was good. But it's not fun, everybody. Not fun. Hey, you're good.
You don't walk in front of me.
I'll zoom out. Thanks. starting to get more active here. There's more people showing back up to the launch site here. More cars. I think I will probably go over to the build site, and I would do a live stream from there of some of the activities down that way, because they did stack the nose cone over there in the high bay, and there may be some interesting stuff to see. So on my way toward town, I will check it out and see if there's something going on. I will do a live stream from there as well. Oh, Gabriel, yeah, over here, there's no certain smell to this area as far as it's just, usually it's clean, fresh air. When there aren't a lot of trucks like right now, this is when they, during the daytime, this spot here usually has a truck or a car going by every 10 seconds. So there's usually a lot of silica in the air and other types of chemicals and exhaust. So it's very unhealthy to be here during the daytime, just breathing in and doing a very lengthy live stream like I've done many times here. But just due to all the traffic and all the silica and dust. But right now it's pretty good. Over there by the beach is beautiful. If you can get to the beach and breathe some of that beach air in with the negative ions, that's good stuff. Yeah. The Real YT says the VA, Virginia could increase the amount of hunting licenses given out for deer. Yeah. Michael says, I had an abrupt meeting with an 8-point buck in Winchester, Virginia. Well, the name of the town is good too, Winchester, right? That's cool. If you have your own land in Virginia, you can hunt on your own land any time of year, so you don't really need a hunting license on your own property. But if you're going to be hunting on other areas, then you do need a license. Yeah. And I'm a vegetarian, everybody. I'm for not eating animals, but I have felt it was my duty to take action into my own hands a few times, just due to the totaling of my vehicles twice, and several other brief minor incidences with deer over the many years that I lived in Virginia. I'm going to zoom in on the base of the tower here. I would be using my Nikon, but it's not powering on right now. So, Space Cadet, nice. Also known as Cartoon Woody, ocean cameras, nice. Thanks, Matthew. I think the big thing happening here today was the unstacking of the Starship, and everybody, I believe, is not only recovering from last Friday when Elon was here, but also having done the unstacking. I think maybe most of the work for the day was accomplished ahead of schedule and probably below budget. But I can't throw in the below budget because that's, I don't know the finances here at SpaceX, but there were some people that used to say the ahead of schedule and below budget. I believe they were ahead of schedule here because it was a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. road closure, and they could always extend it if they needed to, like they did last Thursday night into the early hours of the morning. We live in interesting times, everybody. Interesting times.
Okay, you got it?
I don't see anything else going on here. Robert says, the more they delay SpaceX, the more is available for the competition to catch up. SLS, Blue Origin, and so on. FAA is a political managed government agency. Yeah, Robert, I agree with you on that. And I don't know if we would ever escape the, but it's also a local, happening as well. You know, each state has their own rules and laws and people. So they don't, you know, they're clear to launch in Florida, everybody. I don't know if maybe they would build in Florida and then the FAA would go after them. Maybe the FAA is only going after them because this is where they've started. Maybe if they'd started in Florida, maybe they'd go after them in Florida, you know. So, but maybe it's just due to this area and the poor communication SpaceX has with the local community. So. If they want to improve the situation here, I mean, they should open it up to the public. They should invite not only bring the Brownsville children here in the school buses, which they do, I believe, every week. They bus school children in here, but school is kind of like a prison for children. So, I would think if you really want to make people happy, allow the parents and the children to come. Not just the school teachers and the children. You know, if the children are brought here on school buses, maybe that's not the funnest thing to do. Maybe they would enjoy it more with their parents. But yeah, they could show up here anytime, just like I'm showing up. But I guess the Mexicans and the other people here at Brownsville, they're hardworking people, and they can't just come down here every day of the week. This is a really they use this area mostly during the weekends. The weekends are the busiest place of time here on the beach. I speak a little bit of Mexican, Spanish. You know, Mexican, Spanish, same thing. I have been to Spain as well briefly when I was a younger kid, but I have traveled a few times to Oaxaca, and I'd like to maybe do some more traveling in the Yucatan. So I really, I like Mexico. I like the Mexican language, and I have also traveled to South America when I was much younger as well, to pretty much every country in South America, including Uruguay and Paraguay. I've traveled to Argentina, I've traveled to Chile, Brazil. I don't know how these countries are called, and so when I was younger, I did that stuff, and I studied Spanish in school for about 4 to 6 years in high school and all that kind of stuff. So, but it would be nice if they were able to find different ways to interact with the community here. I don't know if anyone at SpaceX is thinking about the community, except for maybe on the higher level, on the government side of things here. But I think that I don't even know if it's the local people that are complaining about SpaceX. It could be just people from out of state that are complaining about SpaceX, because I'm all for, to be on the record, I'm all for SpaceX being allowed to launch from here at SpaceX launch site, South Texas, and anywhere else they'd like to launch from. I think this is the future. I believe we have been held back in the, I've heard it said that, you know, the airplane was developed a long time ago, and if we look at computers and all kind of stuff like that, everything else has advanced tremendously, but I don't know if it's due to the safety issue or whatnot, but we really haven't advanced that much when it comes to airplanes, you know. So I don't know if all that special technology has been sequestered into the military organizations, whether it be the defense sector or the CIA or some other independent government agency or special access projects. Everybody, look up the term special access projects. Those are projects within the government that don't have any oversight. No oversight, but they do get the money. So special access projects, and if you don't have any reason to know, you don't know about it. So, you know, we know that there is something called Groom Lake out there in I think it's Nevada, and there's many other government locations, facilities that if you don't have the special access, you don't get the access, and you will never know anything about it. So I think maybe the advancement here in the space sector has been delayed intentionally by other people who want to have that technology for themselves and have all the fun for themselves. So if they really wanted to wow us, if NASA wanted to wow us, and maybe if you look at some of David Adair's videos, he talks about how the Skylab had I mentioned this online in the community section. David Adair put up an experiment on one of these, I think the Discovery or one of the earlier, either Skylab or the shuttle missions, where they put like a fingernail piece of, they created a fingernail piece of metal up there in space with like a honeycomb structure, and then so that is outside of the Earth's gravitational field, right? It's within the gravitational field, but outside of as it solidifies, it was kind of free in a weightless environment from the gravity. So they smelted the metal in space, and then they allowed it to cool and solidify. When they brought it back to the Earth, it had over 1,000 times, this fingernail piece of metal had over 1,000 times the strength of titanium due to its structure, and it's also being developed up there in space. So if we can, you know, I had this thought that Elon was saying that, I watched the Starship presentation, he was saying that one of the big problems with the Raptor 2 engine was that the only problem that they have with the Raptor 2 development, version 2, is that it melts. So I believe if Elon and SpaceX looked into the capability of smelting the metal in space, they could build in space using sound frequencies to manipulate the metal in space, because you really can't touch it when it's that hot. And you got to worry about it going through the wall and burning up your ship and creating a pocket there into the vacuum of space. Because when you have this molten metal up there in the space, they had this on the Skylab. They were worried, that the astronauts on the Skylab were worried that it would kind of float through the wall and damage their ship, their station, and they'd be out of luck. So they can use sound frequencies. This is what they learned in the 70s and maybe the early 80s. You can manipulate molten metal in space using sound. And not only can you make it a molten, some type of, the type of furnace, I forgot the name of the furnace, but they developed this technology a long time ago. So, and then they shut it down and they buried it. So they took it away from the private sector. But if Elon were to smelt the metal in space, form it into the certain whatever part is melting, form it into the shape that they want using sound frequencies, or some other way that they can create, you know, if they have some other way of devising a method to maybe just like you're with a glass here on the Earth, when you're melting glass like a glass blower, you gotta rotate the glass and the flame and that kind of thing. Maybe up there in space, when you want to make a donut in the glass here in glass blowing, you push another bar into it that's not molten. If you can be up there in space, create a molten globule of metal, and then use another cooler piece of metal or some type of implement and form the shape of the Raptor engine that you want, then you can allow it to solidify in space, and maybe it would be 1,000 times stronger than titanium. Imagine that, everybody. Maybe a solution to the Raptor melting problem. So I really wanted to make sure I mentioned that, you know. Yeah, Francis. Yeah, they built that security shack this past week. That was something that happened very recently. They did a scramble here to get the site ready and clean and presentable for the. This is again, I mentioned site beautification. They beautify this site much, a lot compared to how it was just a week ago. Because the presentation was last Friday, the stacking of the Starship was last Thursday, and today, February 14th, is a Monday, 2022. So just recently, all this kind of stuff was redone. They poured the concrete over there underneath the shack, and they put the shack over there. The Real YT says Blue Origin tested last week or two, and they tested their payload in the last week or two. Good stuff. Space Cadet says SpaceX will always be ahead of the curve no matter what slows them down. Their model is unique and the competition are not really an urgent threat. SpaceX Cadet says Blue Origin can never achieve Elon's vision. They're aiming at a totally different market vision. Interesting. Space Cadet, what is Blue Origin's market and vision? I haven't really. Are they doing like commercial space? Is that what you're talking about? I got you. Michael says Blue Origin has a carnival ride, and NASA is old tech. Yeah, in the commercial sector, in the public sector, not the commercial sector, but in the public sector, NASA appears to be very old tech, right? But in the somebody walking by here.
Sorry.
How you doing, bro? In the military defense sector, I believe NASA is very, very advanced, and I believe there are many special access areas of NASA. It's not all just clear-cut NASA. So there's many other branches of NASA. NASA is an independent government agency, which is not under the purview of the anybody except for the Vice President of the United States. At the top of NASA is a committee. It's not like you would think of regular business or any other government agency except maybe the CIA. NASA is an independent government agency, free of any oversight except for a committee, and the Vice President of the United States heads that committee. So it's kind of the Wild West, NASA is, and there's a lot of secrets to it. The Real YT says, I know before SpaceX bought that location, PBS had a program about how state natural wildlife has brought cranes cranes to the area. Interesting. The Real YT, if you have a link to that video, I'd like to watch that of the area before SpaceX came into the area. That'd be nice to see. Maybe leave a link on a video or send an email. That'd be great to check out how it looked before. Yeah, Francis, it is really empty right now. Yep. Low Earth orbit, space tourism, says Blue Origin. I got you. Low Earth orbit, space tourism. I got you. Well, you know, that doesn't sound as attractive. Sorry, I don't mean to raise my voice. I don't have a mixer. If I had a mixer, I could really tell how it sounds for everybody here. But you know, low Earth orbit may not sound that interesting. There's a bunch of people over here, but you know, there's something called space factories, and like I was just talking about the metal, there's a lot of stuff found out on the Skylab and the other shuttle missions that could be very valuable. You know, you could grow a crystal in space with no gravity distortions in the field, so you have a perfectly clear crystal, and that may have a lot of you should look at a lot of impact on life here on the Earth. You can grow hormones or sift or extract hormones in space that are like 4 times stronger than the hormones here on the Earth. And people can have a space hospital. They go up there into space. If you have a serious injury to your body, like a space hospital would be great there in low Earth orbit, maybe if they could stay up long enough for 96 hours or something. And you can really heal your body up there in space due to the different flow of the blood in the body. So the hormones are stronger, and there's a lot of beneficial effects when you're up there in space. So you can manufacture different stuff in space. Your body works differently. So there's a lot of different things that David Adair talked about in one of the videos that I recently posted. Bill Simpson says the FAA delayed approval until the end of March to give time to respond to more comments. Good stuff. Space Cadet says everything they make costs too much. Probably talking about NASA, or maybe, I'm not sure who's, probably NASA. Okay, the real YT says about that property prior to SpaceX coming in was around 2014 or 15. Good stuff, the real YT. So as far as space manufacturing, Space Cadets talking about, I believe that stuff already exists in the military sector, the defense sector. The elite people here on the Earth who have access to all this data and research and stuff from NASA over the years, they know everything that NASA figured out in the late 70s and 80s from Skylab and the other stuff. So there are already, apparently, it's been David Adair has spoken about this. You really need to check him out. He is a rocket scientist. He says there is a satellite up there in space called, not necessarily a satellite, but it looks like a satellite. It kind of hangs out there up in space, in orbit. But he talks about that this is David Adair, he says that this Black Knight satellite, there may be more than one, is actually a spaceship. So they apparently fire up a rocket, and then out, I don't know if that first stage of the rocket or whatever, but the top of the rocket opens, and out flies this Black Knight satellite. And then it goes from manufacturing facility to manufacturing facility up there in space, collects the different products of the manufacturing facility, then comes back into the atmosphere in like a seesaw manner. A lot of people talk about how it's impossible to come back into the atmosphere at 15 miles an hour or whatever. But you gotta realize that this space metal that's manufactured in space is much lighter than regular metal, and it's much stronger than regular metal. So if they were able to manufacture a ship out of this metal and use it for transport to and from space, it's said that the Black Knight satellite comes back into the atmosphere like a leaf falling from above, back and forth at about 15 miles an hour. So if we were able to manufacture a ship in the structure and design of the Black Knight satellite, look on YouTube, look on Google, Black Knight satellite, and you'll see the shape. If we were able to form that ship out of this space metal, it would probably make a lot of sense. But they apparently use that Black Knight satellite to go from manufacturing facility to manufacturing facility, pick up all the product and bring it back to the Earth. So these factories already exist. They've existed for decades. So what they're doing here in the public sector with Blue Origin or whoever else wants to do the reef, I believe it's Blue Origin, is really nothing new. So they're not risking anything. They've already proven the technology and everything. They're amazingly bringing it into the public sector, and their investments in that reef technology is pretty much guaranteed. You know, Jeff Bezos is a rich guy, and he's a rich guy not only because he has good ideas, but he invests in things that work. So this reef technology factory is going to be very, very useful. It's going to have a lot of great products, not only metal, but I believe in the Lockheed Martin, I believe it was, I'm not sure who it was, but David Adair said there was a company in 1991 that had a cure for diabetes using hormones that were extracted and grown up there in space. So one shot of this hormone produced in space or extracted or sifted or manufactured up there in space, one shot of that would cure diabetes. And that's again because the hormones are much stronger in space. And but that's a space factory, and I don't know if people. Okay, so David had said that this space technology was so disruptive here on the Earth that it was shut down. They didn't want people here on the Earth to all the backward stuff that many of the backward technologies and manufacturing processes we have here on the Earth. This space-based manufacturing would it would get rid of it. It would get rid of the Earth stuff, because the Earth stuff, growing crystals, strengthening metal here on the Earth, forging and all that, it doesn't compare. The product here on the Earth are very brittle and everything else compared to the output of the product up there in space. So the space-based manufacturing is going to put a lot of Earth-based manufacturing companies, and probably just like we see with the power companies, it's going to put a lot of businesses out of business. And I believe many of these space companies are family owned, so they may be pro. I heard David was saying that he was given a lot of blueprints and plans and everything by a lot of these space companies, because they are family owned, and they were shut down by NASA, ending the transportation from space to the Earth by discontinuing the shuttle program and the Skylab and some other stuff. So they were dissuaded from continuing to be in business and to manufacture and keep bringing forth these technologies that they already had the plans to do. And so they gave them to David Adair, everybody, and to I don't know, to move into the future or to do whatever. But there's a lot of capability for that space-based manufacturing, and it will have dramatic effects on the world. You think they're going to do a static fire? That'd be awesome. Yeah, today is the first day I'm seeing any methane trucks coming in. I haven't really been here on site in the last. Oh, I have been here on site, but Friday was closed. There was a road closure. I wasn't really able to get access to this area. But yeah, this is the first day I'm seeing any methane trucks out here. So Michael's saying probably a static fire. Yeah. All right, I gotta get my Nikon camera ready. Not right now, but in the sometime soon, so that I can get that static fire, everybody. If anything, I will most likely figure something out with the camera so that I can get it working again. What do you want me to zoom in on? I see the methane. Asteroid boy. Yeah, they had a bunch of deliveries this morning as well. Yesterday too, you say, huh? I didn't see the ones yesterday, but I haven't really been watching any. Mike, thanks, Mike. I haven't been watching any other YouTube channels, but Mike says they delivered a bunch of methane yesterday as well. I'll do another 3 to 5 minutes here, and then I'll get out of here. I'll go to the build site. Okay, okie dokie. 201. Okie doke. Breakdown of the request a breakdown of the equipment that I'm using. Space Cadet says, besides Mars, I've always seen Starships as the Mack truck of low Earth orbit industry. Astro Boy, yeah, okay. So the right now, I'm using a iPhone Pro 12 Max with just a regular. It's just my iPhone with YouTube and a tripod. I also have a splitter that allows me to plug a microphone into the and a battery pack into the lightning connector for the iPhone. So I have a tripod, an Anchor battery, which is really good. Gives me about at least 12 hours, if not 24 hours on the iPhone. And that's this setup. I have a Nikon P1000 camera, which I'm not currently using because it's not powering on. And I got a good, I've got a good tripod for that, which is pretty old and beat up, but it still works pretty good. And I use a, what do I use? A Cam Link kind of HDMI card. And I use a micro HDMI to a HDMI cord. And use a AT&T global modem with a data-only SIM card. Thank you. And a laptop to live stream. And when I'm over there at the remote camera site, I have a booster antenna as well from AT&T for the 1900. I don't know the megahertz, but for the modem. Astro Boy 2 says no blow off when question mark. No blow off when unloading methane like the LOX. That's a good question. I heard a little something this morning. I don't know if that was the methane, but I did hear a sound briefly this morning. But yeah, I haven't seen any fuming or any venting or anything like that of the methane. I have seen, other days, I have seen over to the left in front of the tank farm, or in front of those two white methane tanks, I have seen that they were out of some of those connections when they were maybe testing them or venting. I have seen stuff bubbling out of those. It could have been nitrogen. Maybe they were just testing the methane tank connectors, but maybe it wasn't methane. But I have seen some venting over there. It may have been methane. It may have been nitrogen though. Okie doke 201. Thanks, man. Cool. Lady. I'm not sure if a guy or girl, but cool. They have that culvert over there too. They had it there during the presentation. I don't know what the purpose of it was, but they have that culvert still there. They used it, I believe, as some type of building or something. All right, okie doke is the guy, 201. Thanks, guy. Thanks. Oh, Joe's high power rocket says there won't be any methane venting unless they use the flare stacks. All right, thanks. Thanks, Joe. But I will get one last shot of the base of the Starship here. I can see light underneath the Starship there. So I don't see a stand there. Mike says, liquid nitrogen venting near the trucks. I heard that they use it to chill the methane during delivery. Oh, look at that. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Look at that. I just look with my eyes, and yeah, there's some, we can see some venting there. Thanks, Mike. Good stuff. Thanks, okie doke.
are now commencing a methane offload. The tank farm and the methane offload area must be cleared at this time. Attention at the orbital pad. We are now commencing a methane offload. The tank farm and the methane offload area must be cleared at this time.
They're going to clear the area over there because they're going to do some type of methane offload, everybody. Thanks. So I'll stay on. I'll get this shot. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but maybe what we're seeing already, but it may be something else. Oh, there it is. I think we're seeing it right there. That may be it. I'm not sure if there's going to be anything more, but just make sure I got the whole area in the view. I'm not sure when or where we're going to see it, but Asman Cole, nice. Welcome as a member. Asman Cole, nice. Interesting name. Goose. Yep. I don't know if the offload we're talking about, or they're talking about, is here, what we're seeing here. Maybe that's the methane offload. There is a bunch of red tape up there. That may be for the methane area. Maybe that's why they taped that in with some red ribbon over there. Okay, Goose, thanks. Goose says that's methane we're seeing there.
Is it gonna take off?
Not today, but eventually. Yeah, these are methane trucks, but they said something about methane venting. All right, we just got a liquid nitrogen truck coming in just past us. Well, I'm seeing some stuff here. Yeah, let me go over here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little venting from one of the connectors over there. Basically, that says methane is a greenhouse gas, so they can only vent it if burned in a stack. Interesting. Oh, that's just condensation on the truck? Okay, thanks, Joe. So Joe's saying what we're seeing underneath the trucks there is just condensation. I do see some, there's a connector to the left of that truck. And I do see some venting from that. That may be what they're talking about there. It's in the center of the screen right now. You can see there are two of those connectors that are venting there. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Those two connectors to the left of the truck. Maybe even three. I only see the venting from two of them though. Sergey says methane is used for cars too, and it's a very common gas. Goose says methane is basically the main component of natural gas. Good stuff. Still just condensation, okay. Joe's high power rockets, good stuff. Mike says it's the moisture in the air freezing around the uninsulated flanges. I see some men underneath the Starship as well. There's some people in hard hats underneath the Starship right now. I see one person, maybe attaching some bolts or something like that. I believe I hear some hitting as well. You can see there at the base of the Starship on the left side. Yep, Space Cadet, yep. Okie doke, 201. I haven't seen what they've connected it to, but it is definitely connected to something, because I just saw some men down there. It looks like they're hitting something, like, you know, knocking some bolts in or something like that. Yeah, it's very organized, Jeff. As of last week, it got very organized here. Goose Gamer says, I don't think it's in a portable mount. They have some structures near the tower where they put the vehicles prior to stacking. Cool. Okie Doke says, so I guess the static fire of Super Heavy will happen before the Starship. Yeah, I believe that might be true as well, Okie Doke. I believe so. If that is the case, then they would move the Starship away from the booster, I believe. They would have to maybe move it toward pad B or something, huh? Do that, or I don't know if they would leave it right there. It's going to be very fiery and probably not a good situation for the backside of the Starship over there. So they don't want to burn the side without the heat tiles. So they would have to move the Starship somewhere, I believe. Get a really nice shot here of with the sun gleaming off the Starship, and the booster. Yeah, I don't know if they would fill the Starship up and then lift it. I'm pretty sure all the filling happens when the Starship is on top of the booster. But that is something, I don't know if they would ever test that, lifting the Starship already filled. But kind of an interesting thought that I just had. I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to go drive down the road, see how it looks over there at the build site. Yeah, it's going to be pretty loud. Happy to bring you this stream today, and hopefully there'll be many more to come, everybody. Glad you were able to join the show live. Whenever you watch us, wherever you're looking from, wish you the best of days today and the future. Right on, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.